Hi guys, it's Sahara. As you can see, I'm in a different location today. I'm on my spring break and I'm also cat sitting. So if you just saw that cat that walked by, his name is Fig and he is a 9-month-old Siberian kitten. He's very cute and now he's just chilling on the side there. So let me see if I could look at him. Look at that little guy. How's it going? It's been a while, about 2 months since my last video, and I just want to say thank you for the engagement. It's really great to always keep up with fans that collect manga, like reading manga, and things of the sort. So thanks for that. Really appreciate it. Now, when I made my Blue Lock video a few months ago, I knew that Blue Lock Season 2 was going to come out. And that was a pretty big deal. U20 arc is probably the best arc so far in all of Blue Lock. And now that the season has ended a few months ago, I have some things to say. Because obviously, it could have been better, but it also could have been worse. And I just want to say that these are opinions. If you don't agree with me, that's completely okay. I understand they're opinions and opinions only. So I'm totally up for discourse and discussion in the comments, but this is just how I thought season 2 went down compared to the manga as someone who's read it for several years at this point. First thing, we have to talk about the elephant in the room. The animation definitely could have been better. I would say that seeing still images move is not what I would like to have seen, considering that this is an arc in a soccer manga / anime. You want to see them running, right? You want to see them kicking the ball. You want to see them actually doing things, right, on the court. The first few episodes, it was a little underwhelming seeing that. Unfortunately, you do get used to it in time, but it's for a sports anime, you want to see movement, especially with soccer. It's not like volleyball where you normally you stand or you run, but you're constantly moving, you're constantly kicking the ball or trying to defend and things like that from someone that doesn't know about soccer. But it was disappointing. I do understand that the animation studio was relatively overworked, and that is a reason why they could not produce the content that they would have. Honestly, in my opinion, I do not mind waiting extra for something if it means I'm gonna get the highest quality ever. I would really prefer for animators to not be overworked and not be pressured to get content out at a certain time if it means that they're not going to be happy. Since animators, artists, a lot of people, even people in STEM such as myself, they want to produce their best work, and if you push someone to the point where they're not able to, it really sticks around. So I really do hope in the future they could either redo some of the episodes if they have that time, or find a way to edit the show, edit some scenes. I know they did that with Jujutsu Kaisen Sukuna versus Mahagara. Yeah, animation definitely could have been better. But there's one exception to that, and I know what you're thinking. Last episode, last goal. I don't know what was different, but I first saw that scene on TikTok and I literally thought it was a fan edit. After seeing moving PNGs for I don't remember how many episodes season 2 was, but I just checked, it's 14 episodes. But for literally a majority of the season, actually seeing dynamic angles, dynamic shots, like Rin versus Sai, and then oh my god, that literally masterpiece of a goal. If all of season 2 was like that, we can't have everything, but they did do that last goal justice. I'll give them points for that. I'll give them that credit, A+. Everything else, animation-wise, a little lacking, but that last goal, really did it justice. So shout out for that. Really did a great job teasing Kaiser at the end, for a split second, because I think they knew 8-Bit Studio that a lot of people are really excited to see him. And in the dub, how he actually does have a German accent, you know, they're paying good attention to detail. I still fucking hate Isagi. I don't give a fuck about that man. I don't know. I think he really suffers a lot from main character syndrome. I definitely feel like Rin should have scored that last goal. You know, but it also sets up the scene for Sai and Rin's, you know, terrible relationship that's pretty one-sided. And Rin also putting that on Isagi now that Sai says that he has that ego in him. I just don't care about Isagi. Naki and Reo are still as gay as ever, in my opinion. You know, their tension is something else. It's not really seen a lot in the U20 arc since Reo doesn't really play as much as Naki, but you could definitely see some of that on the field when they're subbed in. Oliver is pretty well animated. Like, they did a good job readapting him into an anime versus the manga. Pretty great. Still cannot believe that guy is 19. He literally looks my age. I'm 24. And I think he looks older than me, so that's crazy. So they really captured Shindo, both when he's in the muzzle, when Sai talks to him, which I think is so unnecessary. It's like Bakugo in that tournament arc, like when they chained him up. There's no need for things like that. Like, is this a common trope in anime? Like, this is the second time I've seen it. And I feel like it should not have happened once. Like, it really should not have happened at all. I still think the dynamic between Sai and Shindo is weird. A lot of, like, really obvious innuendos are said just in this whole season. And I watch in sub, but I've heard in dub it's even worse. Another thing is that I was watching with my friend who played soccer for a decently long amount of time, and she said that a lot of the angles and a lot of what they were doing was not explained well for someone that doesn't know much about soccer. She made a lot of comments that, like, she didn't even know some of the things that they were doing, or she didn't understand some of the formations or some of the phrases that they were using. So, I mean, I think could have explained a little bit more of how it works in soccer, but I don't think that's 8-Bit's fault because it's not really mentioned in the manga either. So it really is kind of a learning curve in both of those, unless you actively like research or know about soccer and know what they're talking about. So my friend definitely had to show me some of their formations and some of the key terms that they were using because I don't know anything. She would tell me some misinformation as a joke and I would believe her. So that shows how much I know about that sport. Now, am I excited for Blue Lock Season 3? I am, to a degree. I wouldn't say that I'm expecting the animation to be good at this point because I was really, really excited for Season 2 and I thought the animation was going to be great. And don't get me wrong, I don't think the animation in Season 1 was fantastic either. But Season 2 definitely did see a downgrade. They used a lot more of those moving PNGs and also just those 3D running animations. When you see those, I'm just like, ugh, I saw that in episode Nagi 2 and it really just pisses me off for some reason. But I would say that I'm excited to see what's next. I'm excited to see the new characters. I'm excited to see Kaiser and Ness and how all of that's going to play out when it's animated. But I'm also going to remember this season and not get my hopes up too high. Hopefully they prove me wrong, but you know, I don't know how I feel. I don't know how I feel. And I'm just gonna give them the benefit of the doubt and come in with relatively low to mid expectations and go from there. So that's how I'm feeling right now. But if you have any thoughts, opinions of anything I just said, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to talk more about Blue Lock, and I also have a manga haul video coming up since my birthday was a week ago and I spent a lot of money on manga, and I also got manga as gifts and gift cards for manga, so I have a decent amount of manga that I need to read since I'm going to be going to school soon. So we'll see how that goes. Thank you for listening to me yap about Blue Lock Season 2. This was pretty unorganized. I just kind of had this video idea on the flies, and now that I'm on spring break, I just wanted to kind of go out and say how I felt about it before I get busy with school and also watch a bunch of other animes and forget about Blue Lock. So have a great day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are, and yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Bye.